What's up everyone, it's Kaisan again and welcome back to our Path of Exile tutorial. For the start of this video, I thought we should talk a bit more about the different stats in the game, more specifically evasion, armor, and, well, to a lesser extent energy shields, so mainly evasion and armor. For that, I went on my main account and I just collected some, we'll probably just, we'll look at these. Some chest pieces all required level 17, so they're roughly the same. You can see if you compare those two, it's 126 evasion and 126 armor. So they have the same level, in terms of how much they give you of one particular stat, or this one you can see is roughly the same as well. It's just armor and evasion. Now I want to use these just to show you guys something about the defenses and how they work exactly. So if you look at my stats, I'm actually going to get rid of my chest piece. So without my chest right now, I have 16 armor, which is really low, and that translates into 4% physical damage reduction. On the other hand, I have 290 evasion, which is actually quite high, and that translates into 40% chance to evade. Now, one of the mechanics in Path of Exile, or one of the things that you should know about those two stats, is that as they get higher, you obviously get tougher. If it's armor, there's more damage mitigated. If it's evasion, you'll be able to evade more attacks. But it's not... It does matter how much you already have. Let's put it that way. So, for example, let's just use these two. I think that's the best way we can explain it. I have 290 evasion right now. So if I add 126 more, right now I'm at 40%. If I put this on, this jumps to, as I said, 126. Actually, it's a bit... Okay, I have some percentage evasion in my tree, I think. Let me just see why it's even more... Oh, it is the dexterity. Okay, so I spec'd into a bit of dexterity already, which means that you can see it here. For each 5 dexterity I get an additional 1% increased evasion. So that's why it's not exactly 126. So it's even more than that. Now that doesn't really make too much of a difference. We can still make our point here. So this jumps up to 52% evasion. That's 12% increase, right? Now, on the other hand, if I use my armor piece here, this should jump up to over 140, basically 142. Now remember, here we had 12% difference between no evasion and the additional 126. If I put this one on, it jumps to 28%, so that's a jump of 24%. So this one was increased by 12, and this one was 24, so this was, you could almost say it was twice as effective. Obviously it's not quite like that, but the thing that I want to highlight here is that if you have just a tiny bit of one of those two stats, you should, let's say we have 2 armor pieces that are exactly the same. They both have good stats on them, they have life on them and resistances that we need. You should always go for the one where you have less of, just because the percentage increase that you gain from it will be higher than from the other one, because you already have more. So that's the only thing that I want to say. So if you find an armor piece and an evasion piece and they're both good, use the armor piece, because the percentage increase you gain from it is quite a bit higher, as you've seen right here. Alright, that's all I wanted to say about armor and evasion. Obviously, if we use this one, it will increase both. What's that, 7% and 15% here? Yeah. So if you have roughly the same, you might want to look for armor evasion. It really depends on your build as well. Some builds really go strongly for armor, some strongly for evasion, but if you don't care either way, go for the one that you have the least of. Now as I mentioned in the last episode, going through Act 2 we will jump back and forth. In the last episode we did Old Fields, went into the den and got the waypoint at the crossroads. This time we will go to the left and go all the way until we hit the first waypoint on that side. So let's start with Riverways. These load times should be faster for you if you have a good hard drive. As far as I know, it's all dependent on the hard drive that you use. If it's a fast one, then all the things that have to be loaded about this particular zone will obviously happen faster. And here, those ones they were actually added recently. I think it was 1.2. Okay, so let's talk about the plummeting Ursa. They don't really have specific attacks, they just have a melee attack. The scary thing about them is that they plummet from the sky and they can basically plummet right on top of your head. And if there's a bunch of them, and maybe one of them is a rare, which obviously can happen, they can deal a lot of damage to you. The Bramble Cobra, that's the one that I was talking about in, where was it? Let's look at the map. Right in here, the Southern Forest. That's the one we didn't encounter there. So they just spit chaos damage, and when it hits you, it goes through your energy shield, even if you have energy shield. And directly goes to your life, so it deducts from your life right away. Now one thing that I want to show, and I'm gonna use this guy here, we have 37 shield right now, that's energy shield. Now if this guy attacks us, he will first deduct from the energy shield before he goes to our life. Once the shield is down, he will attack our life total. If we run around and we are not receiving any damage over time, over like a couple of seconds, the shield, as you can see, recharges. That's the good thing about a shield. It is in a sense better than life, because you will easily get it back. With life you need life regeneration, otherwise you will not get back your life. The only problem with shield is that if you consistently, if damage is consistently coming in, then it will not recharge. So then you have a problem. Alright, yeah, you can see there's like a bunch of them dropping. Okay, I want to see if there's monkeys in here. Alright, I'm just gonna go from here, and if I see anything interesting, you can see that there's a lot of shit flying around here. There's a lot of monsters in this zone, so be careful not to attract too many and just, kill them all off. Alright, I'll keep going. We found another strongbox here. Since it is just a regular strongbox, well, I don't have a transmute with me anyway, but I could go back to town if I really wanted to have one. For this strongbox, I don't think it's worthwhile to use currency on it. So you just open it and yeah, and just see if there's anything good in it or not. Come on. There we go. Oh, yeah, halfway decent. Alright, I think we found something here. I don't really know where it went, but I was cursed, so there should be a tormented spirit here. Oh, there we go. Oh man, I think I was too late. I saw the curse, and then I was like, what was that? And then it took me a couple of seconds to realize, and I think at that point it was already too late. Alright. Now, one thing that you might encounter while running along the road in this area is that the bridge is gone. So you can't get over. What you do in this case is on one of the two sides, this doesn't look like it, there's usually a little path over the river. So it should be on this side, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, here we go. So it's just a tree stump going over to the other side. Ice Nova, nice.
That would only slow me down.
Okay. So basically, you know, you can go to the other side this way. And you also see it. You can't really miss it on the map either. I want to show you guys Ice Nova since we just got it. Ice Nova, we actually talked about it at some point. There's a shrine that does a similar thing. This is basically Ice Nova. Obviously it's not doing any damage, but you can see even so, it can freeze enemies. And yeah, so that's for a spellcaster mainly. Its damage is increased through
Looks like this land
you know,
and I are
spell
coming to
damage
an
obviously,
understanding.
and also no, I don't want to level it. And area of effect nodes on the passive tree are really good for it. Let me see if I can find them real quick. There's some around the Templar start, somewhere around here. They used to be. Area of effect radius. So amplify, for example, 12% increased radius, and also increased area damage. That's really good for spells like Ice Nova. All right. Moving on. So we just found a rare mob with something new. I just have to find him in here to show you guys. This ape right here, allies have increased accuracy and critical strike chance, and you can see that I take a lot of damage. So if there's a lot of mobs around, make sure to take that one out as quick as possible, because otherwise the damage from all other mobs will be drastically increased. Alright, funny story. It actually took me ages to find the zone boss in the riverways. I was scanning, I was going round and round on the map and I couldn't find him. And then, okay, let's get the skill point first. And then eventually, I found him in like the smallest corner ever, right at the start of the map. I mean, now he's up front here because I dragged him here. So Tailsinger uses puncture. Now, where I've eventually found him was right up here, which was, you know, just a tiny fraction of the map up here that I hadn't explored yet. So, yeah, talk about bad luck. Anyway, so Tailsinger, as it says, uses puncture, and this puncture you can see definitely does some damage to me. And he also spits chaos bombs. So if he spits, you should get out of it, because... Let him do it. Come on. If you stay here, you take damage over time, because there's like a poison cloud going on. Apart from that, nothing special. Easily killable. While I was doing my rounds in here, I actually discovered a corrupted zone. So this is what we're gonna do next. I went into town real quick just to sell some stuff, and first off, a quick reminder, you know, the 3-link red, blue, green gives you the chromatic, so always pick them up. And the second one is I found a 20 quality item, 20 quality armor, and as you can see here, you get your armor scrap from it. Alright, two things. That's the corrupted zone that I found, 35% more rare monsters, and it contains 2 unique bosses. Mystical clearing of commanders. So for every corrupted zone has a specific boss at the end. Let me just first talk about this one here. So we found a support gem. It just dropped from a monster. It's added fire damage, which you gain 20% of physical damage as extra fire damage. Right now for us, because we basically only deal physical damage, this is a really good gem that we could potentially use. And at level 1 it gives us a 20% damage increase, roughly, just because it adds the, the extra fire damage on top. The quality on a gem, this is the first one that we actually see drop. Quality on a gem gives it something specific on top of the regular mods on it. In this case, it is increased fire damage. I'm not quite sure what each point of quality does. As with other items, quality starts at 5% and it goes all the way up to 20%. So, and this is just a guess, I assume that at 5% quality you have 2% increased fire damage, 6% is 4, and so on. It just continuously increases as the quality increases. Now, let me check what boss we will have in here. Okay, so I had a look, and it seems that it is a big ape. And once we see him, I'll talk a bit more about it. So let's start it. So right at the start here, we have a new type of monster that we encounter. It's called Plumed Chimeral, and suppressing fire. Well, I'm not quite sure if this is something else than the fire. The fire that it does when it fires at us like this. But I think that's basically what it means. Later on, it resists fire and cold, so it is almost entirely resistant against elemental damage. And later on in the game, these guys will deal a lot of damage to you if you can't evade, the attacks. Right now, not too bad. If you encounter a lot of them at the same time, they might be dangerous, because if they all hit you at the same time, that obviously deals quite some damage. On their own, not really a big issue. Okay, and we have another monster here. I just want to get rid of the ones we've already seen. A so-called serpentine construct. Nothing special about it, it's just a melee attack. Okay, so we're close to the boss. In any corrupted area, there's a... Well, I wanted to show you how you can see it on the map. Basically this, what you see right here on the edges, this part is always where the boss is. But what's even easier is that you can see the... if there's monsters around, you can see the aura around them. So this guy is a soul eater, and all the monsters he spawns, and he spawns apes, little apes, deal additional cold, fire, and lightning damage. So I want to show you what Soul Eater means. So I want him to summon some apes. Let's attack him for a while here. Okay, now he summons them. So he summons a couple of apes, and every time I kill one of those, he gets stronger. He will just eat their souls and increase his own durability and damage as well. So this means you want to kill him as fast as possible. That's obviously true for the second one as well. We'll just run over here real quick and just jump in for the second one. He's right here. And now, we'll just try to kill him as fast as possible. And it's actually even a visual effect. The more souls he will eat, the bigger his body will become. So it's a pretty cool feature. Now, as in the first corrupted zone that we saw before, we have a Vol vessel here as well. We killed the bosses, so we can open it now. Let's kill this guy first. Decoy totem, okay. And here we get Vol Power Siphon, another Vol skill. I'm not sure if we encountered Power Siphon before. Um, we currently cannot use this skill with the weapon that we have. If you read it, it says fires your wand simultaneously at all nearby enemies, culling those close to death and granting a power charge for each. Okay, so first of all, you need a wand to use it. And second of all, if you compare it to the normal power siphon culls enemies. What that means is if an enemy is at 10% life or lower, it instantly kills it. Um, this mechanic is really, really good for boss fights because you can just disregard the last 10% of their health bar. You will instantly kill the boss. And this one is a bit different to the normal power siphon in that it attacks all nearby enemies and not just one. So that's what makes it a bit stronger. Again, you have to get the souls to use it first, obviously. Alright, we found the entrance to the Blackwood. And there's a couple new monsters in here. This is a monster that is really scary the first time you encounter it. It's called a Devourer, and it just pops up out of the ground. They are pretty scary, and if you have rare ones, they can deal quite a bit of damage as well. The Shadow Archers are just normal archers, nothing really fancy about them, and these Shadow Stalkers use Puncture as well. We already know about Puncture, so we don't really have to say much more about that. Okay, and you can see how you were following the road, and the road ends right here, and then you have this, pathway among the trees that you can follow into the forest. And then there's a tiny bit of road here again, but it cuts off again. And at this small part, there's always the waypoint right here. I had it already activated when I was looking for the boss in the last zone. I just got the waypoint to make it easier for myself to get back here. So always grab the waypoint here, that's really important. And yeah, let's keep going. We have some snakes here that actually do fire damage over time. And this skill is called Incinerate. And it actually, as you can see, the damage ramps up. So the longer you stay in it, the longer they can deal damage to you, the more it will do to you. Let's see if we can get the example with one of them. It has different stages, so that's the problem with it. So right now it's pretty okay. And now you can see my health dropped a bit faster towards the end. You don't really feel it too much if it's just one opponent, but if there's more of them, then yeah, it gets tricky. Now you can see on the minimap or on the overlaid map, there's an area here where you find these ink spinners as well. They're just normal melee attack monsters, nothing special about them. But you can see that it gets white. Usually you have the green of the forest, and here it turns into white. And you can see there's a lot of spider webs all over the place. This is an area where you find a side zone within the area that you need to progress, and you can already see the entrance right there. This again is increased critical strike and accuracy. So as I said before, we want to take out this guy as soon as possible. Now, if you want to make your progression a bit quicker, what you can do is you can put up a town portal here in front of this, and then you can run to the next area, which we don't know what the name of it is now, but we know there is another one right here. So the Weaver's Chambers is the zone right here, and there's another one right here. So you could put a portal here, you could go into the next zone, get the waypoint there, go back to town and take your own portal, and you're right in front of the entrance here. So that's usually what racers do, and if you don't pick up as much stuff as I do, then you should definitely do it. By the way, if you open a portal here and then you decide, oh, somewhere along the line on your way to the next zone, if you decide, oh, I have to go back to town, I want to sell some stuff, don't do it. You can only open one portal at a time, which means if you open a portal here and then later on, before you get to the next waypoint and before you take this portal back, you open another one, this one will just disappear. So you kind of wasted it. And one more thing that I wanted to mention, the added fire damage gem that we found earlier on, I'm actually using it, and I linked it to Double Strike. So I basically have a better single target attack at this point. It's 280 damage roughly right now. So yeah, that's quite a bit better. We leveled, so let's put that point to action. We will get this one here, Blood Siphon, 12% increased maximum life, 5 life gained on kill, and 20 strength. So we can use all of this. This is a great node for us. And you can see we go from roughly 600 life to 665, so that was a pretty big jump for us. And we found a new shrine that I'm pretty sure we haven't seen before, the Replenishing Shrine. If there's monsters around it, this shrine will do the same thing as what we've seen with certain monsters and totems before. It just allies regenerate life. That's basically it. So we can click it, restore that which was lost. It's a nice little philosophical touch right there. And now we have a life regen, which is pretty cool. Okay, I'm just gonna make my way towards the next area. So at some point while walking through the forest, you will see road again. And this is when people just show up unannounced, obviously. But this is the way that you're looking for, and this directly leads you to the Western Forest. And that's the area we were talking about right over here. Now, before I enter this area, I want to find the zone boss so I can show that one to you. I just shortly wanted to mention, I showed you guys the Devourer, but I didn't really say anything about his attacks. If you're in melee range, he will just slap you, so he has this melee attack. If you're not in melee range, he shoots this fireball at you, which can deal quite a significant amount of damage later on in the game. Now, this looks like we found something. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. We had a tormented soul, and that soul actually went into the body of the zone boss. So he is quite a bit stronger now. What was that? A cutthroat. I'm not 100% sure what the cutthroat does, but
that would only
it's
slow me
now
down.
the zone boss will now be a bit harder. So that's him. Even increased, even more dangerous now with the soul, or with the spirit. So basically what he does, he has what we've seen before, this movement skill that is called Lightning Warp. And you can see he throws traps. He has a normal attack, he has barrage, that's barrage. And that was his trap. He has like that's the trap there. And he has like a lightning arrow attack, which is LMP, lesser multiple projectiles, which means that it's not just one, but instead it's 3 of them. So the cutthroat, there's something swirling around him, and I suppose that is from the cutthroat. I'm still not sure what that did exactly to him, but it definitely enhanced him somehow. So you should try to avoid his traps, because if you go into that trap and then yeah, if you're here, he will most likely try to teleport right on top of you and deal damage this way, and also hit you with his barrage. So sweet. I mean, I like the loot drop from the improved version of the boss, that's for sure. We entered the Western Forest. For this area, you should check your fire resist, because fire resist is pretty much the only resistance that you will need in here. I have 32 right now. It's not the greatest, but it'll do for now. If you have a higher fire resist, this area will be easier. And actually, I want to show one more thing. Blackwood, the area that we just came from, is monster level 18, and this area is level 21, so you have a pretty significant jump here. I am 21, so that's not a big issue for me. I just wanted to mention it. Alira's Deadeye fires a poison arrow, which is a chaos damage cloud around you. So if you see, that's a normal attack. If you see this attack, let's wait for one. He's just normally attacking. Come on. I'm going over here. Yep, that's the one. Try to get out of it to not take damage over time, and then just get rid of the archer. So that's one type. We have the Blood Guard, also dealing chaos damage, only with, you know, nothing special about those. They just have the normal melee attacks. There's quite a few of them. I'm looking for one more type of enemy in here. There are drop bears, or there can be drop bears in here that, you know, drop right on top of you. So you gotta be careful about these. Oh, I think we found someone. It's Katarina. We haven't seen her before. She's another master. Before I talk to her... Okay, that's what I was looking at. It's Alira's Martyr. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this word. But as you can see, they come close to you and then they explode in your face. They're very similar to the... was it Bloodsucker? I don't know what the name was. But the exploders in the caverns in Act 1, right here, on our way to Merveille. In Merveille's caverns, we had these exploders and they dealt fire damage. And it's exactly the same with these here. So let's just get the waypoint. And the thing is, if you just let them explode, you will not get experience from them, and you also will not get loot. So to actually get experience and loot, you have to kill them before they're able to explode. I think what they use is actually some sort of discharge. Not quite sure how that is described. Discharge would be another skill. But you can kind of hear that they charge up and then they explode. So you have a bit of time to attack them and to kill them before they actually you know, kill themselves, basically. Alright, so let's have a look at Katarina. She is the Master of the Dead, and she will have a mission for us here.
My sculpture
Kill
complains
2
that it is
corrupted
thirsty.
monsters. So with this, you have to find the corrupted monsters, which is actually relatively easy. What I usually do, I just you know, go on with whatever I had planned to do anyway, and you will find all over the map, you will find these corrupted monsters in like pairs of 2s. I already found them here. These mummies have life regen themselves, and they have damage over time. You see the green swirling aura. You can see that my health is dropping without them even attacking me, so that's chaos damage that they deal to me just by being around me. So you want to get rid of them. And there's always enemies and allies around the corrupted, they deal increased damage. So you can see that they deal quite a bit of damage. So you want to get rid of them as soon as possible. Once you did, it's just two green circles on the floor. Click them once you're done, and you will revive them. And once you did, you want to bring him over here to this totem pole. And mission complete. And now talk to Katarina again, and you get your reputation. And as I said before, this monster, like the zone level, is higher again. So we almost made it to level 2 with just one mission. So I think any higher level from here on out, if we find somebody in level 22, 23 zone, we will directly get to level 2 with the first mission. Okay, that was that. Since this is level 21, and I said I wanted to do it most efficiently in terms of zone level, what I will do now is I will leave this area and I will go back to the crossroads and go to another area from there. I have to say that if you, well, it's kind of a thing that you don't necessarily have to do. Like where I'm going right now, if you just want to progress through the storyline, you don't necessarily have to go there. There's a side quest in the area that I'm going on. Okay, I'm just gonna make my way there. So the area is for a side quest, and with the side quest you get refund points. And you remember that before we got 2 refunds with another quest. This is the Fell Shrine Ruins that we're gonna enter. And those refund points are important if you spec into the wrong things, or if you, like myself, I spec'd into Primal Spirit just to get strength and intelligence at the start, and I will spec out of it at some point, so I need 2 points at least to get rid of these 2 later on in the game. You know, if you make a mistake, or if you just want to switch something around at some point, you need refund points, or you need orbs, a so-called Orb of Regret, to do it. And since I want to be flexible, I usually do this. This is level 18 here right now, that's why I want to do it right now. And you can see that we have zombies and those rocks. The zombies mostly come out of the ground. Those ones roll. It's nothing new really. And then we have skeletal archers. So all the mobs that you encounter in here, you have seen somewhere before in one way or another. So there's nothing new. Here we go, a rogue again. No, you're not getting away from me. Here we go, we got him. Just wanted to add that an Orb of Regret just dropped. That was the one, the orb that I was just talking about in terms of refunding skill points. You can see it grants a passive skill refund point. That's all it does. But it's pretty rare, so it is you know, it's pretty expensive if you have to buy a couple of these to actually do it. They have a certain value. So you follow the road in here all the way. I think I have a bit of lag here, as you can see. It's kind of frames dropping. Well, let's do it anyway. We are pretty much there. Let's grab this. Oh, nothing's happening. Okay, let's kill those here. And you can see then at the end of the zone there's this area here. There's a plaque here you can read in terms of, you know, what this is all about, and then you enter through the door here and go all the way over here, obviously killing this guy, and right over here you find the entrance to the crypt, level 1. And that's again a higher level zone. It is level 21 again. At this point we are 21, as I said. And you find a waypoint here. So you basically run through this zone. You don't really have to, fight too many monsters. Just open some chests and look for some rares and get the waypoint here, and then you're going straight back to town. Okay, we are at 40 minutes. I'm just gonna quickly talk to Katarina here. So you can see that the masters are in different acts and in different towns. We have Haku and Elrion in Act 1, and now we have Tora and Katarina in Act 2. There's 2 masters per act. So so far we found all of the masters, which is really cool. And yeah, it's level 1, so it's just unidentified blue items on here, and you can see that it's all well, I wanted to say it's all intelligence based, but that is not correct. But the armor is all intelligence based, so it's all energy shield. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We actually were able to make quite a bit of headway this time. We went through the riverways into the Blackwood, and then went to Western Forest, got the waypoint over there, and then we went back to Crossroads, through Fell Shrines, and got the waypoint at the crypts. Next episode we will go right over here. That's the next thing to do. Alright, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, press that like button, and consider following the channel. That would really support me, and I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys for the next episode.